Do the 99 Bulls win a championship?
Yep.
Okay, so I need
Yeah.
some premise.
Yeah. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are
The
coming
same
from
team
my
comes back.
mind. Used to come in-
The same exact team.
Same exact team.
Yep.
I would lean yes, but it's not an overwhelming one like Fred is giving because by that point I don't know what the fuck Dennis Rodman is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the strike, and then you have the 50 games where like that. If you ever go back and watch the year 99 basketball, it is ugly.
Yeah.
It is fucking ugly. That's the one thing that these other guys are not exaggerating. Like it's actually not that great of a basketball. And so there's two sort of camps where people are like teams that know what they're doing and have their routine and like have the same guys, they have an advantage. But the other side was the young guns with the fresh legs actually had the advantage. So I don't know. I'm sure the truth lies somewhere in between those two things. But my thing is Rodman. I don't think you can trust Rodman at all, especially if there's only 50 games. By that point, he probably assumes the season's over and is like getting twisted every fucking day. So I don't know what he shows up like during camp. And they're playing like 4 or 5 consecutive games. Like they squeeze those 50 games in.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much effort you're going to get out of him because you see over that second three-peat every single season, he gives less and less of a fuck.
Yeah.
Like to go and wrestle.
Yeah.
In the fucking while you're in the finals, that is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. That is so fucking mind-blowing crazy to me. And I know that Rodman was like, that's what his thing was, to be crazy and like come look at me. But that's fucking crazy. Like that any team even signed him after that is kind of crazy to me. So I think I would say yes, just because it's Michael. It's a short and Michael doesn't cut his hand, right? Are we also saying that if he cuts his finger, he doesn't start the season? Then my answer changes.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Okay, well, if he doesn't injure his hand cutting a cigar, then I would say yes. But if I was giving it like a percentage, I'd say like 65% chance that they win or giving a 35% chance they lose.
I'm pretty confident because I'm thinking that Knicks team, like I don't know how challenging that team would have been for the Bulls, like a Bulls in that present state, you know, like what they had, Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson. Like, I mean, I actually wanted the Knicks to win that series for some reason. I don't know why. But I think the Bulls would have beat them and it wouldn't have been as hard. And so with I mean, that was one of the things that Jordan was struggling with, you know, just taking that whole burden of a whole season plus like the intensity of the playoffs. Seeing that, you know, I could see him, you know, the team just getting, you know, when it came down to it, just buckling down and winning another one.
Yeah. One thing about the Dennis Rodman thing going to wrestle, I think too is a testament to how big wrestling was at that time. I think now it sounds crazy no matter what. And I'm not about to defend Rodman's actions, but at that time wrestling was like way fucking
amazing.
bigger. Yeah, right. Like that was like
it was amazing time.
It wasn't that crazy to see Dennis Rodman wrestle. To the team, obviously, it's fucking insane. But also to the team's credit, this is why they had Rodman, was because they knew they could handle this. Because MJ, Sky, you see all these guys in practice, they're like, oh, hey, Dennis is back. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. It almost feels like everyone else is making a bigger deal than the team makes it. They just know that this is his antics, this is who he is, whatever. We're going to rock with it. But I don't think they win. Yeah, I don't think they win. I don't necessarily buy into any school of thought that the younger team or the older team wins. I just think that 4 years of going to the finals, of being intense as shit. Sure, MJ is going to MJ in the finals. That doesn't mean Scotty is going to Scotty. That means that Dennis Rodman is diminished. Luke Longley now has to guard a still effective David Robinson. David Robinson. And Rodman's going to guard the greatest power forward of all time, it's a great what if, right? Because one of two things happens. And this is why it makes it difficult for me, because this is two of my favorite players ever. My favorite player, Tim Duncan, against one of my favorite players, MJ. And what makes the what if great is that, for me, right, it's always been the player of the 2010s has always been Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? It's Timmy. Timmy is the great player of the 2010s. He is the one who he carries the MJ flame. It's not Kobe. Kobe does it in a billboard way, but Timmy does it in the way of the spirit, in the spirit of the word way. You know what I mean? And it would be great to have seen either MJ literally pass the torch to Tim win his first championship, or or Timmy loses and learns from then on. You know what I mean? Who knows what happens then? None of those teams were great. That Knicks team, obviously famously loses Patrick Ewing and then makes it to the finals off the Larry Johnson 4-point play. And this is part of the point, because Larry Johnson at this point is older and out of shape, kind of, and he's thick. He's thick. He
was looking rough.
He's thick with 4 C's. You know what I mean? And facial hair.
He looking like Sean Kemp.
Yeah, it's like the gold tooth grew into the rest of his demeanor. You know what I mean? He was no longer looking right. And he's on one leg. You know,
he's jump no more.
Yeah, he's literally on one leg at this point. So I don't know. I just think that is just the beginning of of one of the great franchises of all time. And I don't know that the Bulls overcome that.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, you can think I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
It's Michael Jordan.
The matchup is just not favorable.
I would have said it after the championship, though. I would not have said that before the championship, because then MJ is going to hear me say that and is going to ruin Tim Duncan's life. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen to my precious Timmy. You know what I mean?
Not a great matchup, though, with two big guys that can give them hell.
Yeah, there's no – and again, as we learned, Dennis Rodman couldn't stop Karl Malone. He really offers no resistance to Karl Malone in the finals. Are we expecting him to offer –
he just gets in his head.
Yeah.
He gets in his head, and, like, you can't do that to Tim Duncan.
Yeah, you can't, as Timmy's proven over and over again. And because, I think as competitors, right, people who compete, if you're trash, you can't really get into my head. You know what I mean? I'm just going to trash you. You're just going to make it worse for you. Right. But if you are my equal and you're talking shit to me, that's a little bit different. That's going to bring a little fire out of me. Maybe you can get in my head in that scenario. You know what I mean?
As long as you're secure. And that's the thing that's what really brought to light with all these other guys was how insecure they were. Like for Karl Malone to let Dennis Rodman get in his head every fucking game. Like, and it's funny, like those things they showed were like they're tripping each other up the floor and they fall 3 times.
Yeah.
Like that game 6. Yeah. I've watched that game so many times, and that every time it's crazy. It's so funny because it's like, Karl Malone, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like the least important guy on their offense is keeping you on the other side of the floor, away from playing defense. Why are you not even? Why are you even entertaining him?
Yeah. I don't understand.
He's so pointless.
I'm so confused at the chain of events every time I watch it. I don't know who's tripping who the entire time. You know what I mean? They're like a tumbleweed going away in the night. You know what I mean? So what is happening here?
The last one, Rodman definitely trips Malone, because instead of getting up and turning around trying to walk away, he gets up and immediately starts to pretend to fall again. Until Karl falls him again.
Oh, man.
And then they do the whole slap ass thing.
Yeah.
And that's not they do it multiple times.
Yeah,
they go back and forth slapping each other's ass.
Yeah,
like, you're Karl Malone, the guy who just won the MVP, and this is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And you're saying he's at your level by doing all this shit with him.
Yeah, their ass slapping is the equivalent of the meme of the 2 guys that are giving each other the finger on the street. You know what I mean? That they just keep walking up to each other, giving each other the finger harder. That's essentially what happens there.
Yeah, that video is crazy. I like that.
Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind. Used to come